laptop mic. Okay, so now I should have microphone there. And I'll see if I can turn on the external camera microphone. Yep, that works. And I can go back to Zoom here and shift 5. That should turn the video back on. I'll tell you, it's not easy doing Zoom and YouTube and live all at the same time. All right. Okay, so that looks good. Let me get a light so that I can illuminate people that are here. Summertime, we wouldn't have all these issues of lighting. Why couldn't they? Oh, yeah. Yes, I'm going to point it straight out your faces. We're all professional. Hi, John. You guys need to do some singing and dancing, too. The girls will come out later. When we're not live on the air, the girls will come out and dance. Morse code? Morse code. Is that still like right in your eye? Is that all right? No, still not all right. How about that? Right there? Is that good? Good idea. That's better. Doesn't help them, but I'll. This one here is LED, so it won't be so bad. No, this is like a $10 light. This is all I could afford. You might have a good one. This is definitely not a good one, but it works. It's like maybe we'll see. We'll play with it. That's the good one, but that one seems to be illuminating okay. That's bright. Who pointed it this direction? Yeah, it does. That is going to cause global warming. That's not bad, right? Short-tail relative was knocked on the door, said you need to get out of here. So Chris is supposed to be here, I'm assuming that Katie's supposed to be picking him up. Okay, so now you can't see me. Well, this is what happens when you have a meeting at night, right? What is that? I can't even see what that is over there. Oh, it's the back of the light. I was like, what is that? Let me move the light.
It's the shadow.
Is that in your eye? I think I'm going to end up having to be the guy in the heated light. It's my own punishment for suggesting the light. Ugh, that's like so bad. Oh, it's zooming now. We're broadcasting to YouTube and Zoom at the same time. Yeah, that is right. So, well, it's like a Halloween episode. Oh, it looks like John is gone. Let me let John back in. Yeah, it's like ooh, let me tell you a scary story. Yeah. What? You're just coming to say hi? Can you hand me that box over there? Please? Thank you.
Hiya, lady.
Say hello to everybody.
Hello.
Oh, it's like a pizza oven. I'm like being cooked here. Oh, hideous.
Don't worry about us. Why don't you aim that at the house and aim the LED one at yourself?
Yeah, it's not really making any difference for that anyway. So I think you're probably. They can't see you though, but I guess they don't. I suppose they don't. No, please, I don't want to. Listen, first off, I look now I'm green, but okay, that's better. At least you can see me. So first off, if I could see that there were people out there, we have Andrew. What's the new call? K6OP.
Not that new. It's been 2 years.
I know. Phil, KD6RM, and Neil. I'm never gonna. KL7HQR as in Romeo, and then we have Bob, N6PGQ, and John, AR5. What is it? AD5RF, and then David, K6CIM. I can't keep that in my face anymore. That's like hideous. I know what you're going through now. Good enough. I don't care. All right. They can see me well enough. They can't see. They know you're out there, but they can't see you. So it doesn't matter. There's Andrew over there. And there's Phil and Jean and Bob and John and Dave. All right, so they're all here, and John is online, and Carol's online, and apparently I'm online too. So first off, like super big thanks for actually showing up in person. As you can see, this is a pretty big driveway. Easy to keep 6 feet apart from each other here. We could have easily had 3 rows of 6 feet, I'd say, and then go out 6 wide. So we could have had about 18 people before the police came. Not bad. No wrestling, if you don't mind. I think that might get us in trouble. And no spitting on each other, unless you're okay with it, I guess.
No sunflower seeds?
Oh, that would have been great. I should have done that for a snack, as sunflower seeds. That would have been a good one.
Mike, can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, tell the people not to breathe too deeply because the air quality index is unhealthy. It's 161.
I'm not telling them that. Carol says that the air quality index is horrible, so don't breathe. So, yeah, so if you can keep from breathing, by all means. Actually, this is Carmichael, and Carmichael doesn't have bad air ever. Yeah, we're exempt from bad air. As a matter of fact, it doesn't rain here either, so we have to use a little extra. But that's why they give us free water, so that we can do that. So, like I said, Chris is supposed to be here with Katie. Let me see if I didn't get a text, and I just don't know I got a text. Nope, just a message from John saying don't forget to Zoom. Katie is probably driving around endlessly in circles looking for the house. Chris is probably holding her up. I wouldn't doubt that. But that'd be really excellent turnout. I mean, normally we have about 12 or 13 minimum. I think that's what we've been averaging. And we have what, 2, 4, 6, 7 with me, 8, 9, 10 online. So that's not bad. So this is our first meeting back in person, according to Chris, in 7 months.
Wow.
Yeah, ridiculous, but that's the way it is. You can't see it, Carol, but everybody has a hood on their head and a mask, and they're wearing goggles. So there's no need to worry. Oh, do you have a hazmat suit? I can't see because the light's on my eye. All right, so there's Katie with Chris. Hi. Yeah, past Marconi, and then past Kenneth, which is the stop sign, and then it's after the first house on your left. One house and then left. Okay, back. So they're right around the corner. So that's good to know. And everybody, I just, I guess my address is on QRZ anyway, isn't it? So it doesn't matter. So Chris will have some statistics for us, like how many on-air QSO or on-air check-ins we've had. From what I've heard, he told me that the check-ins have been really good. We've been having upwards. I think he said that up until this last week, this last Tuesday, we had an average of 10 per. We had an average of 10 per meeting, which is really good. So I think our record was 55. Chris can correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, 55. And then this time, I guess we had probably like 43 or so. There weren't too many people this time. I think John was out of town. It looks like he still is, having a picnic. I don't know what he's got there. Was that a picnic table, John? Wait for him to turn on his mic.
You mean my temporary shack?
Oh, is that your temporary shack? Okay. Where are you?
Can't see the rig?
You're in Arizona?
Yeah.
So John's in Arizona.
Tucson.
If you want to see, if you have a phone and you tune into the W6SFM live feed, you can actually see the people online. So, because it's being broadcast. You don't have to, but were you able to hear John when he talked just now?
Yep.
Oh, okay, good. So they hear you. Say hi, John. Say hi, people. Oh, he muted himself again. He's on his phone. Oh, he put a thumbs up. Nice. Let's see. Guys, like, this has been so long since we did a meeting. It's hard to figure what to actually say. There's no news as far as ham swap meets, of course. We do have the California QSO party. It's coming up this Saturday. So we needed to talk about that. I'm going to see if that's Chris. It looks like it might be. I do want to get his online report. Oh, no, it's not. It's somebody else. I would like to shine a light on you, but I'm stuck under this table. Who do we have there? I can't see you. Oh, welcome. That's good. I really think, yeah, and there's Katie. So I need to get the sign-in sheet. I'm not like the dentist where I go and they have a pen for everybody. Is anybody opposed to using the same pen? Do I need to get a sanitizing wipe?
Or you could sign us in.
Yeah, that's too easy. I want your real signature. I'll get a Clorox wipe, and then you can feel better. So let Chris pull up his chair. I'll go get the attendance sheet. On the what? Talk about it. Yeah, he can. He can. And you know what? Just set him over there, and then he can talk. Talk up. Yeah. That's at least 6 feet.
Yes.
I hope you don't mind the shades of the tree.
The Lancet says that low risk of SARS-CoV-2 transmission by fomites in real life conditions.
Yeah, I think that's true, that everything now seems to be focused on this atomized particle.
And we got to remember, 2020 is not real.
Not real life. It's most unusual.
I always thought of 2020 as good business.
We got double hurricanes last month. Not just one, two at the same time.
October is scheduled for a low.
You know what? I don't think you're on the list, so you're or you, so you'll have to fill your name in because it's. I haven't reprinted the list because we haven't been together for so many months that I just never made a new list for the attendance. So there's a blank column here. Just put your name, your call and initial. I'll start it off so you can see what I'm talking about. And as promised, I'm trying to keep you guys safe, even though I'm one of those non-believers. That's right. Of course, I do admit, though, I would be the first to die having at least one comorbidity. So I'm a good gauge. If any of you are sick and asymptomatic, I will most likely be dead in a week or two. Well, it could go at any time. Yeah, it could fizzle out at any time. So it's JON or JOHN? JON. Oh, and then I'll just have you put your call down below it. This is what I'm going to do for everybody who's scared, like I said. Anyhow, so yeah, what were you talking about, Andrew?
Fomite.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Well, basically, fomite is the transference of infectious material via touching.
Okay.
Or I could have it slightly off, but I just found an article that says basically this is from the Lancet published last week, but there's basically a low risk of transmission by fomites in real life conditions.
I see.
Yeah. Now, if you spit on it and then you pass it on, that's a different.
Some things never change. You ever notice that?
Should I walk around and follow you with the light? It's in alphabetical
If you have
order.
a telephone.
I have one in my car.
I wonder if we should all get on Zoom on a point to 10 by Zoom like that.
See what's going on in the meeting.
See what's going on at the meeting. All right, now we can start the meeting. Kate's here.
That's right. I hear somebody a meeting going on here.
In your parking lot.
There's an illegal meeting. So I'll tell you what. While we sign our names, if you need a little extra light, let me know. I'll just rotate this around for each person. Neil, do you feel like you need a fresh wipe?
No, I think I'm okay.
Pass it on then. You see, Carol, I'm being careful for you.
Thank you.
I'll sign for Carol and John, and I will wipe the screen with the Clorox wipe so that they don't get contaminated. Right. So I'll tell you who's here in a second. What was your call again? I can't remember.
W6NKR.
NK. That's right. W6NKR. Andrew K6COP. OP. He hasn't pop up. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. I said the same thing. Where's the list now? Oh, there it is. You want a new wipe, Bob, or are you good? Okay. What you got there?
It looked like a heck.
Yeah, it looks like a
tool.
hex driver. And it's metal?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. It's a ground wire is what it is. Looks like John left a ground wire.
John left it. Oh, did you already do your install?
I had to do it.
Yeah.
My room was cooking. I was
You
like,
got it working.
I'll show you. I'll show you.
You have AC now?
Yes, I do.
Cool.
Everybody, we said we wanted to do it. It was myself, K6LQ, and AJ6JQ, Doug, another member. We all wanted to do mini split systems. And I said, let's all buy mini split systems. Maybe we can get a bulk discount. And that worked out great. I bought mine and they didn't do anything.
That's generally how it works.
We each got 2 or 3 contractors to come out. You want a new wipe, Katie, or are you good? Okay. So we each got 3 contractors to come out, 2 or 3, to give a bid on how much it would cost. The lowest bid that we got basically was about $2,800 to do a mini split. And I went direct to the company and I bought my mini split for $718. And it took me about 2 hours to do my part, and then John did his electrical work for me and did a fabulous job. Looks great. Thank you, David. And then John charged me $2,500.
That John, I'll tell you what.
Can't trust him. Not as far as you can throw him, anyway. Yeah, so the whole job was like $950, maybe $1,000. I haven't paid John what I owe him, so. But you know, I might hit 10,000 if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see. I'm hoping it doesn't go to 10,000. All right, so Carol, I've got you logged in, and John, and me. I guess I'm in here too. Oh, okay, there you go. Oh, that's right. Up here, Neil. I'll put you up there. HQR, right? All right. What? Oh, you put it over by your signature. Okay, good. Neil. No, that's fine. Did I have you on the list already? Oh, I do. I didn't even know I had you on the list, James. No, not you, Neil. This list is from December, I think. Is that, when did you join? Yeah. Yeah, it had to be like September or something. Yeah, I was surprised to see that you were on here. KL7HQR, KL7HQR. And I will save the I'll save the exciting email for now by telling you that Neil said that he was interested to join our group because he does not have enough membership in all the groups. He's got about 4 more in this county to go. And And Chris and I are on the board, so we can both unanimously say that once he puts his paperwork in, we will accept him. Do you agree? Yes. So,
Does
Chris.
he have to ride the donkey?
Yeah, you have to write in. Actually, you know what? We did ask one member to write a little statement of why he wanted to join. As a matter of fact, we actually asked him why he wanted to rejoin. He got framed?
Well, you want to be secretary for life.
Right. Yeah, we hounded Chris to join the club because we pretty much forced Chris to join because we needed a secretary for life. Now, please, me come up with good ideas. It's still going to be in my eyes. Still not going to enjoy it. But it's a little better. At least I can kind of see you guys. I should turn the headlights on in the car. All right. So, Chris, why don't you give us our stats for online check-ins, if you would? Yeah, I think there were 4 people. Yeah, so what was the total? 46. Oh, we missed it. And what's the top? 53? 54. So we missed doing it by just a tiny, tiny bit. What a shame. It is John's fault. If John were here, then that probably would not have been an issue. Yeah, Carol, can you hear David when he was speaking just now? Just nod your head. Did you hear John? Did you hear David? Okay, good. I just don't know if the microphones are working or not. 14 online for the month. That's not bad. Of course, we had our CW class, and that was a Zoom class. That was our first Zoom CW beginners class that we've ever done. That class was supposed to start in April. Yeah, 16th or 15th, April 15th, tax day. Yeah.
Well, it was tax
Yeah, they did. So I had to move my class too.
day. Didn't have any money.
Right. So class start. When did the class start, Neil? Was it? I think it was 2 weeks ago, wasn't it? Yeah, 2 weeks ago, and then 10 weeks from that. So it started about a month or 2 months late. I was really hoping that we were going to be able to get clearance to do the class at the church where we normally do it, and they never said they were going to open the church, obviously, in California. So we ended up doing the class online. Katie was there, and John was there. Neil was there. Did I miss anybody that's here? I don't think so. And I think it went okay. It was pretty difficult on Zoom, but it worked. What did you know? What? As somebody who had pajama bottoms on for every class, I will agree with you on that. It was nice not to have to.
Is that show as a clothing optional sort of
The what? Oh well, as long as the camera didn't slip, I don't care. You were fine to.
I just want to make sure I understand the nature of the club.
Well,
On natural.
optional, Phil. Optional. Yeah. So
On the other hand, I think that I never participated in an in-person class,
yeah.
but I would assume there was some good because you could see the hands moving
Yeah, that was one thing that we did do. Um, that I was able to do with the Zoom class is I took this camera here and I put it on the side where my key was here, and I could let them watch my fist as I was sending, and then do a picture in picture of my hideous face in the corner. That way they could block out my face but watch my hand. So and then of course, for those who were Zooming, some of the people chose to keep themselves on camera while others showed me their hand the whole time. At one point or another, I asked everybody to let me see their hand, though, because I wanted to make sure that everybody was sending properly. And I can say for certain that this class, I think that the best. We produced the best sending of all, sending technique of all of the classes that we've done. Not to say that the other classes didn't do well, but I think overall we had about, I think we started out with 16 maybe, and we ended with about 10. Two of them dropped out the first night. They uh, they had schedule conflicts. And then one of them dropped out because he just couldn't figure out how to use Zoom. So he was on one night, and then after that, he was no longer on. So that was 3 there. There might have been one other. Maybe it wasn't 16. Maybe it was 14, and we went down to 10 or 11. But overall, I wonder if I have the sheet here. Oh no, it's on my desk. Yeah, but overall, we did really well as far as keeping the attendance. There's always dropouts even the live in-person class. There's always going to be people that they fall behind. Once you fall behind, I'd say week 3, it's really hard to get back up because you're so far behind already. You haven't learned the first 6 or 12. Actually, what would it be? Almost 18. 18 letters by the 3rd week. So if you haven't learned by then you're probably not going to catch up. So they give up. But that's not an issue I don't think with the teaching. I think that in that case, it's the student isn't dedicating enough time outside of the class. I can say, what's that? Well, no, the 3 of them didn't. Everybody who attended the class and stayed with the class, I would say, did at least a little bit during the week. I don't think everybody did as much as they should. If you compare us to like the CW Ops group, those guys, they want you 2 hours a week on the live chat, like Zoom, and then they want an hour a day in practice. So I do too. So I recommend to our students that we do 10 to 20 minutes a day. And I say that so they don't burn out. And then we only meet once a week for 2 hours ish. So, it's not that rigorous. Not like the CW Academy. But then again, they're also teaching on a electronic key, so I don't think they're getting the same quality of teaching, to be honest. But that's my opinion. I've heard otherwise. Like anybody that's here that's already doing code, get on the air. Yeah, it really is that, because once you get past that first QSO, which I know you've already had, uh, at first the adrenaline's running. Why don't you tell us about your first QSO? Do you? Mm-hmm. Okay, got his information first. Right, and there's nothing wrong with that. Right. And John, what about you? Have you been on the air?
Yeah, I made some contacts with some guys in the SKCC group.
Right.
So they have like a chat
The
scheduler
sprints.
kind of thing, and so kind of coordinating with people for my first couple. And it was, yeah, same thing. It's like your nerves are crazy. But yeah, I muddled through and feel fairly confident about it now. Yeah, I mean, definitely my biggest mistake is sending too fast, and then
Right.
something comes back and I'm screwed.
Yeah, that's the most common thing. So, what about the QSO format? For the people that don't know, part of the class I teach a QSO format. It covers what I think that 99.99996% of the people out there use. Everybody says the same thing. They might change the order of RST, QTH, and name, but the conversation's pretty much the same. Did you find that to be the case?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the SKCC guys add their number to it.
Right.
But yeah, otherwise, it's very, very much what I found out there with some variation.
Yeah. So for 35 years, it's that same conversation as far as, if you don't drag somebody into a rag chew, then you're just going to go through that same thing over and over. David, you took the class and the QSO format. Do you find that to be?
I pretty much follow that, and I'm off and on the air. I'm not consistent. I'm not on all the time. So oftentimes it's like starting over, like Neil in a way, although not as long, but great. And I always pull out my notes if I have them to remind myself. But you get to a point to where you don't necessarily follow that order, but you make sure you cover the ground.
Right.
I found out that this problem for me, and I had to write down PTA Sacramento because halfway through I kind of forgot which letter am I sending. So it's just a question of a visual way that you go through. Yeah, sometimes your call or the send or whatever, whoever you're having the QSO with, will add some other information, right? Like how long they've been a hand, how old they are.
Right.
That's not on our template, right? That I'll respond if I get somebody that tells me. Most of them say talk about it. Yeah, they're old people. They're 50. Oh, they're really old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Most of the people are older. But that is one thing that I didn't put on there because that will generally be the third exchange. I only went out 2 exchanges. So the first exchange is name QTH RST. The next exchange is rig, antenna, power, weather. And the third exchange, I would say, if you get there, is going to be been a ham for X amount of years and age here is, or the other way I would put it, age here is blah, 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 been a ham for X years. That tends to be the third exchange. Most people don't put that in the second because when you're going at a 13 word per minute speed, typically the conversation is already 45 minutes just as it is getting through the first 2 exchanges. I mean, I don't know, John, do you find that to be the case?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I've never gotten to a third exchange.
Right. So,
And I've only had one that's gotten even to the second.
oh, okay.
Just like I said,
Oh, it's because the
that's what I was doing with
SKCC.
SKCC.
Yeah, you got to get away from those sprints. They're good for learning call letters and getting number patterns down, but when it comes to actually having a real QSO, they don't really follow the format quite as closely, and you never
I
get
like
the.
it in that I could kind of schedule it with somebody and be like, okay, I'm going to do this now. And it's not
Oh, you have Elmers that you go online
sort of,
and.
not anybody in particular. I'm just saying like they have this chat scheduler, right? And like people are on trying to make contacts.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
And you can private message somebody and say, oh, do you want to try a QSO? Go to this frequency, I'll call.
Okay.
And so it was sort of a nice controlled environment to try and make some initial QSOs.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. I didn't know that they had a chat window now.
SKED.skccgroup.com.
Yeah, it's their normal website, right? Oh, I see. Oh, okay. And it's like a chat window, or
Yeah, it's like any sort of chat that you can probably message people you want to try to make use of it.
I see.
Yeah, so you could post, for example, if you're on 40 meters, 7052, that's usually where I hang out, 'cause it's a little slower. You can post that you're there,
I see.
and someone else
So
might
it's a spotting window for SKCC. Well, that's good. I didn't know that they had added that. So, Andrew, have you been on the radio lately? You need to get yourself on the radio. Well, absolutely. As a matter of fact, for a little show and tell tonight, I just pulled this out. It's not necessarily new. This is the newest. I'll show you later. It doesn't glow. I don't think it does anyway. Let me see. Oh, that's interesting. I hadn't thought about it, but I guess, yeah, it doesn't. So you couldn't use it at night. Huh. Wonderful. This here is a new rig expert analyzer for anybody who wants to. Yeah, so I figured it would be nice for you guys to come up and play with it. And for the people online, that's my iPhone, and that's the analyzer. So it's not too much bigger. It's actually about the same length. This is just a little cap. Like I said, I'll talk about it when we get there. But I thought I'd show it to you. Now they have another one coming out, and I'll tell you about that. I'm not trying to sell anybody that. I'm just mentioning it because I figured we'd have something. Did anybody bring anything they wanted to show? No? Okay. Oh, you brought your box? It's the CW keyer is for the handheld, the walkie-talkie. All right, I'll save that. Let's talk about the California QSO party. I'm really excited to see that there are so many people here, but I know I don't expect to drag you back for an event on Saturday. But California QSO party happens every year on the first weekend of October, I believe. And this year, luckily, it doesn't fall on my birthday, which it almost always seems to. Yeah. So, yeah, 55. And the event starts at 10 a.m. and it really goes till 10 a.m. the next day. It's a 24-hour event. But as of about 6 years ago, about 6 years ago, we decided we weren't going to do the full 24. We had a difficult time getting people to stay overnight for the event. And sometimes it was just hot as can be, or cold as can be in the middle of the night in October. And typically we would do that event outside just because of the person's location that we would have it at. So instead, we decided that we were going to trim it down to 12 hours and work 10 to 10. And that seemed to hold everybody's attention pretty well, where, we weren't rushing to get out and people stuck around for a long enough time. So this year, I had thought that we would do it again for Field Day. Anybody who came to Field Day knows that I had the garage open and then I had the table at the edge of the garage with an easy up here. So we had plenty of light, and we operated Field Day at this table right there. My KXPA 100, the amp for the amp for the KX3, it stopped working. It wouldn't put power through. It got the 5-watt input to the pre, and then the exciter wouldn't let the amp transmit. So I took it apart, and I really couldn't do much with it at the time. But about I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago. I ripped it apart and got that repaired. So now the KX3 has the KPA 100, or what is it, KXPA 100. So we're good for 100 watts again on the KX3. But for the field day, I took the K3 out because being right here, I could just walk into the shack and grab the K3. So that really worked out nicely to bring out the K3 and not have to worry about being over at the park where we normally are and then driving back and resetting everything up again. Of course, we would have probably had 2 stations if we were at the park. But and David usually brings his KX3 and his KXPA 100 as well. So we normally have 2 stations set up for field day. But this year, we actually had a field day. I think, if I'm not mistaken, let me look here. The dog wants to attack all of you. Sorry. Let's see here. So if you go to the website for W6SFM, believe it or not, things are still happening on the website. So if you go to the menu and select pictures under media clips and pics, I believe in the photo gallery for 2020, I added pictures for field day. Yes, I did. So yeah, there's some. Oh, nice. Some of them are upside down, but when you click on them, they're not upside down anymore. So go figure. So if you want to see our field day operation, you can actually go online and check that out. Thank you to David for bringing donuts on Sunday morning. That was very nice. What's that? No, we had 3 people on Sunday morning. It was supposed to actually be that we were going to have as many people stay as late as they could and go all through the night. But we didn't. We had the last crew leave at, what was it, about 11:30, Chris? So somewhere around 11:30, and then I worked till about 2:30 or 3, and then I slept from 3 to 7, and then I woke back up and set up at 7, and then David, you showed up what, about 7:30 or 8? Yeah, 7:30. So, and then after that, I think you might have come by. Were you here on Sunday, John? You came on Saturday? Oh, okay. So, James, were you here? You weren't? Okay. I can't remember who was. But yeah, so Sunday there were about 2 or 3 people that showed up. And, that was kind of nice to have a little finish up work. I think that Brian, what's Brian's call? I can't remember Brian's call. But Brian showed up. He's a member of the club, a recent member. He also was in the CW class. He's the one with the squeaky chair. So, of course, with Zoom, every time, there's noise, it goes to your image. And his chair, I had to keep muting him because his chair, so it kept switching over to him. But, yeah, so we had the K3, we had the dipole antenna, and we had for Saturday also set up over in the end of the driveway there in the grass. The club, you can see it on the right-hand side there. There's a 4-band trap vertical. So we had the 4-band trap vertical set up on the grass with some radials, and then we had the 80-meter dipole. And of course, the 80-meter dipole always wins out over the 4-band trap vertical anyway. So we ended up pretty much packing up the 4-band antenna Saturday night, I think, and then I just worked the night with the 80 meters on the dipole, or the inverted V really, and then Sunday morning, same thing, and that packed up pretty fast. So, but California QSO Party is kind of like Field Day, and it's the same concept. If you're not familiar, basically what we're doing is uh, each of the counties in the state of California have a prison ID, and like for us, it's SACR, I believe, and like Yolo County is just YOLO. So each prison designation you send out with uh, a a number, a sequential number. So QSO number one is one W6SFM SACR, and that's it. That's the whole. Oh, do we do SAM on that one, or is that North American? There's no name on that one. Okay, so yeah, we just send out W6SFM, the number, the sequential number one, and then SACR, and that's all. That's the whole contact, and then it just goes to SACR, three, etc. And the point of the contest is people from outside of California are trying to work as many of the prison states, counties they can. Prison states, we're locked up here in so uh, our lockdown counties. So you're trying to work as many lockdown counties as you can, and then so we're real popular, obviously, being a California station because everybody's trying to work California. So even when you have a weak station, they're still trying to get your number and your designation because they want to fill their log with as many counties as possible and as many stations as possible. So anybody who's done the event knows that it's actually a pretty fun event because again, we're the sought after people as opposed to North American QSO Party where everybody in North America is just working, North America. So it's kind of nice. I don't know what the event will be like this time because obviously clubs are not getting together in California. Uh, Although there are some, but it's far and few between. I think this club here, like I was saying, I'm okay. I was thinking of doing it like we did here, but I promised the wife that I wouldn't allow access into the house because she's running a business that has to do with food and she doesn't want any contamination because, she doesn't want to have to shut down her business just because we're having an event. And so we made our agreements and that's the reason the bathroom is closed because, I made my deal and I got everybody here. Yes, please. Yeah, sure. Uh, we thought about it, um, but believe it or not, there aren't that many Sacramento stations. I mean, there's a few, but it's. I mean, yeah, if you went out to where is that? Where did uh,
Del Norte, you got like 6,000 people in the whole damn
well, there's one particular place in Red Bluff. What is that county? Tehama. That one there is like rare. There's usually one station in Tehama.
but it's hotter than the piston and ugly as sin.
Yes, yes. But if we were going to go anywhere, we would definitely want to go to a location like that. But why not represent Sacramento when we are a Sacramento club? It might be. It might be something to consider. I mean, I'm not against it. So we could certainly put it to a vote. This is a club, and everybody gets a say. And no, Yes. Yeah. As a matter of fact, like you're saying, I think it's a 150-mile radius. Right. Okay. Right. And that also counts for this event as far as like field day did. As long as you turn your log in and you mark the same, I think it was the same group size, like there are different group sizes. So part of doing the contest when you sign up for it is one, of course, you give your county, and then two, you say how many people are in your group of people who are going to be logging with you. So I think it's 1 to 10, 10 to 20, and then or 15, and then 15 to 50, and then 50 and above, or something like that. Uh, but the concept is you if you turn in your log and you write the same amount of group that we signed up with. So we signed up with a small group of 10 because we never really have more than about that working at home anyway. And then if you put down that you were in the group of 10 and that you're reporting for SFMARC's W6SFM, then all of the points that you score will be counted in addition to our points as a club. So you can work within that 175-mile radius and still operate as a W6SFM station. You're still using your call, I believe, but you're reporting it under the SFMARC in our group size. And the reason that they want the group size is because, for example, we signed up with, I think, 10 or 15, I don't remember what the small one is, but there's small, medium, and large, I think is how it works. If you have more people reporting in than you signed up for, they discard they take the first X amount that you signed up for and use 100% of the points and then of the highest points. So if Joe worked and got 3 contacts and Bob got 300, and he turned his log in 20 logs in and we only signed up for 15, they would take his log and throw out the 3. So they use the highest score of all the logs that come in, but they only accept the first 15 because we signed up as a 15 station. So that's how the event is set up. Now, my thought was I had considered maybe we should get a porta potty, set a porta potty over there maybe. But to be honest with you, I checked into the porta potty pricing, and I can actually get a porta potty for $75 plus delivery, plus pickup, plus cleaning, plus and by. Well, listen, I told you in the email, you want to pee on the bush. I've got 3 fruit trees on the side of the house. You are more than welcome to pee on any of those trees tonight. It's okay. So please help yourself. If you feel comfortable enough, just hit the tree over there. That's fine too. But not everybody is comfortable peeing on a tree. I know I can't get my daughter to pee on the side of the road ever. So yeah, if I don't carry a little potty with me, she ain't going. But in any case, yeah, the porta potty was $75, but by the time you get hit with all the charges for the pickup, the delivery, the cleaning, the this and that, it was like $175. Oh no, you can get them. You can get them for a week for about $175. Yeah. Now, if you don't tell anybody, my neighbor over there has one because they're doing construction on their house. So if anybody needs to go to the bathroom, you can walk up to their house and sneak in. I don't think they'd know. Just don't slam the door. But yeah, you could. Yeah, you could. You could. But it's only 2 doors down, so if you wanna use it, go ahead. It's in their driveway. No one would never know. But yeah, so I considered doing the porta potty. The thing is, right now we're doing Zoom, and the Zoom cost us like $15 a month. So it's almost as much as a member. So for everybody who's here, we've already spent all your membership just on Zoom for the last 7 months. So with that expense and then $175 on top of that, I figured for one day, and then I thought, okay, I'll bring it in for tonight's meeting and then it'll still be here for Saturday and that would work. And then it's, $25 a day, but nobody's using it. And I think that you guys can all hold it for 2 hours. So I figured I wasn't gonna even put it to a vote. I just didn't think it was necessary because, yeah, well, we get to, between Chris and I and John as the board members, we can spend, I think, $50 or $75 without approval from the club. But anything over $75, if you read your bylaws that you get every single year on January 1st through email, you'll see that we have to have a vote for money spent over that $50 or $75. So, it just wasn't worth putting it to a vote. And I also, this was before I knew who was coming tonight. So had I known that we'd have 11 people here tonight, then I would have said, Bob's counting, make sure. I can't see that anybody over there. Maybe they're not there. But had I known that we could actually rustle up 11 people to actually show up, then maybe we could have done it here and maybe it would have been worth it. But chances are unlikely. So the way I figured it was, I thought I would ask if anybody is interested in maybe going to one of the local parks. I have to check and see between now and Friday. I guess that's tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah. Sure. Understand. They do. Right. That's what I was going to see is if the Carmichael Park had the restroom open. Because there's a covered area at the Carmichael Park where we could easily be 6 feet apart and occupy an underneath the covering. It's a solid cover. It has a water fountain, which I don't know if they've turned on or not. And it has, yeah, Anselhoffen you have to pay to get into. There's also the park here off of Arden where John and I and some of the other people in the club go. You go up to Fair Oaks to Arden, you make a left on Arden and just go right to the river. And it's a really nice park. It's got picnic tables and yeah, there's a park by John's. But if the park at Carmichael bathrooms are open, they're like 100 feet away from the area where I could see us setting up. It's generally a reserved area, but I don't think there's anybody taking reservations. Is there? Oh, okay. Well, there's still. Right. Well, like I said, if we're 6. Yeah, if you show up and there's 6 and we're all 6 feet apart and we're not Well, that's the thing. I think it shuts down at sunset. And that would be about 7 o'clock based on tonight's, we could look that up. But I was thinking if we worked like 10 to 6 or 10 to 6:30, gives us a little bit of club time. We would be a QRP station though, because, well, I guess I could bring the big battery out. It would last that long. I have a 150 amp hour battery. So if you want, if you guys are interested, then we can do a 10 to 6:30 or 6. Maybe take the vertical here, plant it in the ground, and then or put it on a tripod, throw out some radials, and run a 100-watt station. We could get chased out of the park. I don't know. I mean, I see people in the park all the time. I don't think that they're actually coming by looking for large crowds. But I suspect that even if we did it, we probably wouldn't have more than 4 people or 5 people at a time anyway. That's pretty typical of all of our events. No, I think 8 is the most we normally gather at one time. Yeah, yeah, we could. Yeah, unfortunately, John will not be here, so he'll miss out on that. Oh, I think I lost John. Maybe his battery died on his phone. Yeah, it looks like it may have. He just dropped off here. Just lost John. But so that's something to think about. Is anybody, just a show of hands, anybody interested in maybe doing a Saturday California Custo party? 1, 2. Neil, were you interested? All right. So we got 2. David and John. Anybody over here? No? Okay. Chris, you'll show up anywhere I bring you, right? Yeah. So 3. So there we go. So like I said, it's like 3 people, 4 people. That's pretty typical. And I know they wouldn't kick out 4 people out of a park, especially since the benches are 4 park benches deep by 4 wide. It's a huge little pavilion, huge little, yeah. So think about it, and then maybe we'll do that. So I'll tell you what, if you want some water, come on up. It's 8:15, so I'll pull out these. I brought some snacks that are peanuts and something to dry you up. So I got peanuts and M&M type trail mix individually packed, so you don't have to worry about dying from snacks. So stand by, enjoy.
Hi, everybody out there.
There are cups up at the table here too, but help yourself to a pack here if you're interested. Carol, I'll eat one for you.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So take a break. Yeah, take a break. Feel free to wipe the cups with a sanitizing wipe if you feel like you need to.
Yes.
The water's been sanitized and filtered, so you don't have to worry.
It's on.
I don't think there's any gluten in that.
It's on the bottom.
Oh,
Which we dumped it right now.
no, you'll be fine. Listen, the wife is selling those sandwiches.
Oh, I know.
Ice cream sandwiches. They are artisanal,
Hey, Siri, turn off
handcrafted
the
ice cream
light.
sandwiches in a
It
macaroni
looks like you haven't set
cookie.
up any HomeKit accessories. You could.
Hey, Siri, turn off the flashlight.
It's off.
I think she might have sorbet too, and it's a gluten-free macaroon. So
How much
'cause
are
it's made
they?
with almond flour. So
She have any?
I have to see what she has. You're good with dairy, but not.
Yeah, no gluten. I'm good with
Let
dairy.
me see what she has.
How much are they, Mike? Take cash? Yeah. We can leave it on the table and it'll cook for a while.
Leave it on the table and it'll cook for a while.
All right, Bob. So you're in luck because this week she's doing a variety pack of the first 4 flavors that she did. She'll bring them out. You can choose one of
Oh,
them.
whoa.
So she did a a amaretto ice cream with a nectarine puree
Okay.
and a, you know what,
Okay, thank you.
what all the flavors are.
Okay, what do we have?
I have nectarine amaretto,
Okay.
key lime and a coconut, rosewater cardamom, and this is, I call it un dulce viaje, but it's a Oaxacan chocolate cookie with vanilla bean ice cream and dulce de leche.
All handcrafted, all handmade.
What was that one?
Hang on, wait
This
until
one?
we.
No, the
talk
second
about
one
it.
you said.
This one,
Key lime, let's do that one.
Key lime and a
I'm gonna look
coconut.
at. Key lime's really good if you like key lime ice cream.
Do you want me to bring out a nasty?
Yeah, bring out something to.
What kind of dulce de leche does she use?
She makes it herself, and she uses a Moscato sugar that's imported from the Philippines.
Oh,
Yeah,
try that next time.
you can try that too. But
Yeah,
yeah,
maybe we'll try that. That one sounds interesting.
the Oaxacan chocolate,
Yeah.
or the Oaxacan chocolate is. So she didn't really tell you enough. The cookie is got cinnamon and chili powder.
Oh, the Oaxacan one?
Yeah.
I'll skip that.
Well,
I
Mike-
don't do chili.
But the
Yeah,
chili,
Aren't
they
you don't taste
darling?
the chili.
That's okay.
But Mike,
Don't
I'll
even
still
went
do
up
the
to
key.
Alaska.
They're like pure.
Why is my battery running low?
I didn't know that she
Hi, Mike.
was.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find mom and dog.
Yes, Carol.
She was really.
it says your battery's running low.
It is.
So
I'm trying to figure out which one is the power supply because it says it's on, but I don't think it is. It should. I think that got it. Yeah, and if you're interested, they're $6 a piece, but
Which was the
she
key
has
one?
a sorbet, a raspberry sorbet.
Thank you. It isn't wrapped at the moment?
No.
So just eat.
Yes.
Okay.
Gluten free.
It has nuts though.
Oh wait, Bob, you're good with nuts, right? You're good with nuts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything other than wheat.
Hi, Kate.
Hi, how are you?
Nice to see you.
So you made some, are they here?
Yeah, that's them. They're
This is nectarine amaretto, rosewater cardamom, and this is a vanilla bean with dulce de leche and Oaxacan chocolate.
Oh, you know, I'm gonna have to do the chocolate.
Some people would say that's the best one.
Will it?
Okay.
Will they? You want half of this?
No, please.
No?
Go ahead. Enjoy it. I want to hear about the other two.
This is
I'm afraid I can't eat all of it,
Nectarine
but I know
amaretto.
that's a lie.
and rosewater cardamom.
Okay, we'll take the next three. Anybody want to share
Rosewater
one?
is always the last thing. Yeah.
There are two left. I don't want to.
Take a couple bites and I'll
And then we'll take a couple bites and then wipe it. Thank you.
go to the restaurant, you don't order only one.
Yeah, Cheeky Girls ice cream. And if you're on Facebook or Instagram, I post all the time. Hey, stop it.
What do you think, Bob?
This is disgusting, Mike.
Yeah, you hate it?
What a card.
I don't.
I may have to do this again.
No, not right now. I haven't ordered them because nobody ever asked for one.
Do you have cards or anything that we can take from the company?
No, I don't have a card.
No,
It's online.
We'll talk to Mike. We know where he lives.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can send you the website name.
Yeah.
And then you can look it up. So yeah, if you want dairy free, bring it up.
No, not really. If you break out and die, Bob, please go to the end of the driveway. I don't want my property value diminished. Okay? I said don't diminish my property value.
is Oaxaca Mexican chocolate. It's not like a candy bar. It's a hard coconut or cocoa bean, and she grinds it down to make the chocolate.
Oaxaca is one of the states of Mexico.
Yeah. And that one there has got, hopefully you're not allergic to coconut. That one has coconut in the macaron. The macaron is coconut and then key lime ice cream. And the key lime are actually key limes we grow. Yeah. And that, what do you have? You have, that's amaretto. That's amaretto ice cream with a, oh, I don't remember what the, oh, and it has a nectarine, she took nectarines and reduced them down and made a jam. So it's a nectarine jam on top of amaretto ice cream, and the macaroon, I don't remember, but I think it might be a, shoot, it might say on here, I'm not sure, I don't remember. It probably is. And the one that's left in the box here for me is rosewater ice cream with a cardamom cookie. And she sells them for $6 a piece. And like I said, they're all handcrafted. She makes the ice cream herself. The base, everything. It's all handmade. And all the ingredients are, there's no bottled, canned, or jarred anything. It's all from scratch. So. How many what? I don't eat any because I don't eat the profits. Yeah, so, yeah, I don't eat the profits. No, but I wish that I could because I would probably eat 2 a day, I'd say, on average.
You can buy them for $7 a piece.
6.
No, 7 for you.
Oh, right. Well, actually, I do. I actually do buy it. Like that. That'll be paid for. So, she also has this week a raspberry sorbet. And I don't remember what the cookie is, but it's a raspberry sorbet for people who can't eat dairy.
When is the raspberry going to be available?
It's now.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
I'll put an order. I'll go online.
Okay. I don't know how many are left, so you better hurry. Typically speaking, she makes about 100 of each, and by about 12:30 on Monday morning, after she announces them at 8 o'clock in the morning, she tells everybody what the new flavor of the week is, because every week the flavor changes. This week there happened to be 4 because she did a revisiting summer 4-pack of the first 4 flavors she did, just as a way to say goodbye to summer. And because you can see how cold it's getting out here. But yeah, so normally it's just one flavor. It's either, sometimes she'll do one dairy, one non-dairy. But sometimes it's just a dairy only and not a non-dairy. But like last week, I think we did she did blackberry. And she bought the last blackberries they had. She went up to the blackberry farm up in Apple Hill. And she bought a big case of blackberries. And it only made like 50 sandwiches. That's all she could get out of it. But normally, every Monday morning at 8 o'clock, she puts out a newsletter. It announces the flavor. She puts the flavor announcement on Facebook at 8 in the morning. And then by around 12:30 in the afternoon, most of them are all sold out. And she only makes like 200 total. 100 of each. So, nope. She was a vice president of a healthcare company, or a software company that did healthcare. She designed a software for this radiology company, and then worked her way up through the company, and now she does ice cream. So, anywho, hope you enjoy it. So, as a show and tell, since it's here, and I'm going to touch it anyway, looks like Neil brought in his His flameproof, new flameproof. Did you order a disc for the bottom?
No, and those online did not have it.
Okay, so this one has the Navy seal on the bottom. And looks like, oh, wow, you got a good one. So this one here is a Benell. So this is made by J.H. Benell. So that's a good quality one. There's a disc that goes underneath here. You can get that from Wally, who makes the base. So you can get a disc and a base at the same time. And Wally said that for club members, if you're interested in getting a base and a disc and a knob, I know he said that for the base, he normally sells it for 35 plus shipping, and he ships like $7.95 or something for, or $9.95, whatever USPS priority mail is. But he said, I don't quote me, but I believe what he said was $25 out the door for club members who want to get a base. And it's a really nice base. He moved to Idaho, yeah. Yeah. So, but he's actually doing really, really well. And he custom handcrafts the knobs and the discs and the base himself. So, as a matter of fact, I'll tell you what, I'll go get the base because Neil wanted to see it anyway. So let me just grab it real quick.
Somebody got you for 87.
Oh, no.
So then I looked around and I saw this one and the knob. I got 25. I came up with it. I've been looking around for what I had. Just do it even. I just did the straight key maybe. Yes. I found some, but they're either way too expensive. No, this was like over $150.
I'll pass it around if you're interested to see. Yeah, that's mine. So David, that's Wally's base he made, and the I think the finger pieces too. Yeah, absolutely. If you want. Yeah, his eBay name is Lab Man MGR ATT Lab Manager. Yeah. It's just eBay. You mean his?
No.
Oh, for the cookie? Yeah.
I was never on camera.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's a great piece of metal. The middle one would be good for that. Did you like it?
Oh, yeah.
I forgot which one did you have?
I had the other. And one is enough for the wife and I.
Oh yeah, yeah. The thing is with that ice cream, you really can split that thing in half because store-bought ice cream, they fill it with air, and this stuff here is like 90%. There's no overrun in it. It's very, very little overrun. No, yeah. There's no. You don't get fluffed air in these at all. Yeah. So that base there that's being passed around is the base for the flameproof that Wally makes, and you'll notice on the bottom it has a cutout where I don't think I have one on my key, but if you look at this key here, you see there's a marking. Can you see it right there? This key has the Navy seal, and he put a little cutout just like a phone case, so you'd be able to see the seal if they printed it in the right place anyway. You know, they're never printed in the same spot every time. But you feel the weight on that thing, Neil? Pretty nice, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Oh, well, yeah. What's that? I think that he said for members and the CW class members, he would do it for 25.
Here it is. It was $33.33 plus $9.33.
Right. So it's a pretty good deal for. If I'm wrong, I could be wrong, but I think he said 25. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that one has good action. That's the one I used to teach the class. I think that one is the one that Stan left me when he passed away. Flame proof. Yeah, because what they did was they mounted the key to this metal base, and this is a metal cover. It's made for Navy ships so that when you're sending, you remember you used to have high voltage. This is from 1940. So when you had high voltage going through the contacts, you didn't want any arcing. Yeah, high voltage they'd have like
vacuum tubes.
Yeah, old vacuum tubes in the 40s. You had like 800 volts, 500 volts going through.
You don't remember getting zapped when you put your fingers across the key?
Yeah, so they closed it, they sealed it so that there wouldn't be a spark on the contact causing the ship to blow up. So they call it a flame proof. And this particular key was made by 3 or 4 different manufacturers. This particular one is made by J.H. Bunnell. They all have the same number here, but then the 3-character letters tell you who the manufacturer is. There's one really rare one. I can't remember what it's called. It's like Dexcon or something like that. And then there's Teletronics and Bunnell and I don't remember the other one, Centronics or something like that. Yeah, the C. So yeah, well, it was used in World War II. So again, the idea was, I believe that Bunnell made the key design and then he shared the patent with the U.S. Navy, and they distributed the patent freely among the 3 or 4 manufacturers so that everybody could make the same exact key for the war effort. And this was used on all the ships. Ships and submarines is this model. There's an Army version too, but the Army version sucks. I don't like it at all. It's terrible. And this is also a pump key. So the key, the way this one works is when you push down on the lever here, it actually pushes up into the contact. So there's no downward pin into a contact here like on a regular key. You see that it's got a trunnion here, and then when you push down, you have more lever torque, and then in the back, it actually has a disc, and this flat disc rotates up and down and touches the top contact, and the top contact is connected here. Wiping? No, it literally goes like this. It literally if you take it apart and look, it flips up. So it actually rotates up and flips over like that to touch the contact. It's an interesting design. It's based off of a Swedish pump key. The Swedish pump key is the same concept, but they just put the contact on the top, and then when you would push down on the lever, it would go like that, up. And then what they would do for the spring tension, just like this one is, the spring is actually connected to the base. And then when you push down, you're stretching the string. So instead of compressing the spring like you do on a J38, this one stretches the spring, and that allows you to have way more adjustability, because you can do very fine adjustments on that spring, because all you're doing is either stretching the spring. Yeah. So you're moving that tension in very small amounts. So this key is actually extremely accurate, and it's a pump key, so it has a nice torque on the end. As you can see, though, it was meant to be mounted on a table of the ship. So there's no base. And that's why I passed that base around to show you what is a great option for mounting this key on. It really, it's really nice. Here's the base for those online. So it mounts right on there. This base, what would you say? That's about 2 or 3 pounds? Yeah, at least 3 pounds. But you see, it's really thin, but it's a solid base. And then underneath, you see here, it has a little cutout window so that you can, if you have the navy seal like that, it would be in the window right there, like an iPhone case or something where you see the Apple. Same concept. So Wally did an amazing job. As a matter of fact, this base here, I helped him design it because the original base was about another inch on each side, and it was about this long. It was a huge base. And I said to him, Wally, why is the base so big? I don't want a big base. I want a small base. So he went ahead and he redesigned his base for me, and this is what he came up with. And honestly, I would say that this is the best base that I've ever used for a flame-proof key. And I've made about 4 or 5 of them, and that just kicks the butt of all of the bases I've ever made. Yeah, that's the one he's selling now. You can buy it in the big and the small. I have the big if you want to see the big, but... So on the key, it has 4 holes here. So the bottom plate of the key, this plate screws on in 3 spots here, and then you can remove that plate, and then you would see inside the key. But you obviously don't ever do that. But there are 4 holes, 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, there's 6, I think. Oh, no, there's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you take those, and he even supplies the screws for you as well. So you see here, he gives you brass screws and nuts that go on. And then he's got rubber feet here so it doesn't slide around. Yeah, so it's a beautifully made American base, USA made. So name of his company is Design Services Custom Products. But you find them at ATTLABMGR on eBay. If you want it, I'll send you the link, no problem. All right, so I guess I'll talk about this real quick. I wish I could actually show you something. I guess I'll pass it around because, to be honest, one of the things that I just realized as a mistake, this is the Rig Expert AA230 stick 230 they call it. First off, it has a USB-C plug at the bottom to charge it. So it's got an 18650, I believe is what it is, 18650 battery. Looks like a giant AA battery. It's a rechargeable. I think it'll go 14 hours before you need to recharge it of measuring. And it has just an unlimited standby because it has a paper display screen. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Paper display. So it's like the Kindle where once it draws on the screen, it never goes off. Can you see anything on the screen from where you are? Well, the information on the screen is there, but the analyzer's not on. It's turned off. But you can still see the information because the paper display never shuts off. So that's not on. One of the mistakes that I do see, though, the reason that they came up with the paper display was because everybody was complaining that the color display was difficult to see in the direct sunlight. So they said, okay, well, we'll make a paper display, and then that thing you can't miss it. It's, like any LCD. As long as you have light, you can see it really well. And as long as you have a backlight, you can read it as well. But I turned it on here, and I noticed that there's no backlight. So you can't use it in the dark. So that's a horrible mistake that they've made. Well, no, but you could side light it. You could put a little not fluorescent, a LED or you could put a, what do you call it? It's like a fluorescent, like a strip. Anyhow, so this is a cap. You pull the cap off, and there's an SO239 on the end. So don't lose this cap. Apparently, they want $8 for the cap if you lose it, and then you got to pay shipping to get it to you. So you're looking at, you know, $16 just to replace this stupid little plastic cap. But they put it on there because it's also watertight. The battery is screwed in through this door here. You don't have to open it because you just recharge it through, like I said, the USB-C on the bottom. And the USB-C has a little plug, you see. So that plug fits in the hole there to keep that watertight as well. And then there's a lanyard that comes with it, and you put the lanyard through the little plastic piece here, and that keeps this plug from getting lost, because I'm sure that'll cost you $8 to change too. So this one here is from 100 kilohertz through 230 megahertz. Yeah, it does VHF. Now they're coming out with another one, and the next one is called the Stick Pro. And the Stick Pro, I think the screen is the same size, might be a little larger. It doesn't come out till next month. And it's color. So it's a color display, and it goes up to 600 megahertz, and it has a time domain reflectometer in it, and it has coaxial tools in it, so you can check length and velocity factor. You'll be able to check dB loss in a cable, and you'll be able to... How do they do that? Same way a TDR works. It's just like a TDR. It's just measuring the return voltage off the other side. So so they send a pulse down the cable, and they right. So it's got magnitude in it. They don't display magnitude, although there's a new model that came out last month called the AA2000, goes up to 2 gigahertz now. It has a special screen on it. It's like an OLED screen, and it has magnitude and phase. It's an incredible analyzer, but it's like $2,000. It ain't cheap, or it's somewhere around there. It's, you know, it's like 15. I don't even remember what it cost. But this one here, it does graphing. It has a few it has 4 main modes. The first mode is called Molt, and what it does is it goes out and it measures, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, let me see. I think the Molt mode, the multi-mode, I think it measures 16 bands instantly. So it just goes out, checks all 16 bands, and then it comes up with a little graph of stars, 1 to 5 stars, and then you can quickly just hit the next button, popping through all the bands, and you can see by how many stars it got, how good the SWR is. And then, of course, you can go check the SWR in each of those bands. But if you're looking, for example, if you have a vertical multiband antenna, or you have a dipole or some antenna that you don't know what frequency it's cut for, you can hit the Molt button, and it'll instantly tell you which band it's is working properly in. And then the next function is called single, and the single mode is a static SWR meter, and I'll pass it around. You can poke the buttons. The single mode is a static SWR, so you're literally just looking at one frequency, and it measures the SWR of that frequency. And then the next mode is the free mode. The free mode is a graph. It draws a graph on screen, and you can select your center point for the graph and then the bandwidth of how wide the graph is. And then you can zoom in and out of that graph once it finishes. Personally, one of the issues that I have with this analyzers is because the screen is a 1-inch square, it's not terribly practical to be graphing on. No. Now, I will admit, if you're doing SOTA work, you can't beat this for size. I mean, yeah, I mean, this thing is like, you climb a mountain and this thing is incredible to take with you. You know, it weighs probably about 8 ounces, if that. And then the final mode is the ham mode. And the ham mode lets you go, it does graphing again. You could do reactance, resistance, and SWR graphing. And it will, the ham mode lets you check each of the ham bands so that you can click next, and it'll just jump from one band to the other. So it's like the multi-mode, but instead of doing a static SWR, it does a graph of each of the ham bands. So this analyzer here is actually on sale right now. I told you I wasn't trying to sell it, and I don't really like it, so I don't even recommend it. But it normally sells for $289, but I think I'm selling it now for $249. So it's super cheap. I mean, you can't even touch an AA55 for $249, and that's only 55 megahertz. So if you're, oh, and the other thing is it also has Bluetooth on it, and it'll connect to an iOS. As a matter of fact, let me turn on my phone, see if I have the app. Well, you certainly can see them. Right. Yeah, so if I can find the software. Yeah, so here's the app. It's called AntScope, and it already found the analyzer. I just hit connect, and then it goes out and it's connected. And now, if I want to start an SWR graph, of course it's going to be infinite because it's there's drawing the graph. It's, of course, it's a straight line across the top because it's got no it's got no terminator or anything on it, no coax connected. But it tells you, as you move the cursor here on the screen, it'll tell you the reactance and the resistance and how many J it is, plus or minus capacitive or inductive reactance. And it'll tell you the SWR and the frequency as you move this cursor. You can see that little white box is changing. So right now it's literally checking. And I can set in this menu the frequency for the center and the bandwidth that I'm scanning. So I can bring this by and I'll show that to Carol because I'm sure she's interested.
Okay.
So that's the setting mode where you would set your frequency up. And then the graphing mode is here. And as you hit start, it just goes off and does a graph. I think that's the start button.
Yeah.
And then it goes off and it graphs. And then it's done already. And then you can take your finger like this and drag that cursor across, and it'll show you the SWR reactance and resistance at the frequency your cursor's at. So using this analyzer with a phone, I don't think it doesn't do, you can't turn the phone sideways. That's another oddball thing with this. They didn't, oh, maybe they did. I don't know. No, it doesn't look like it reformats to portrait versus landscape. But it certainly makes it easier for you to see it at night. You know, I can't read this screen, but I can certainly read this screen. And to do a sweep for the entire 230 megahertz, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, that was it, 3 seconds. So I scanned 230 megahertz in 3 seconds. And I can see this during the nighttime, I guess, and then I can see this during the day. But if I wanted more accuracy, I could, of course, use the software because it's clear what the reactance and resistance is as I move my finger on the screen, moving that cursor. So those are the modes. Unfortunately, this does not have the coax tools in it, so you can't measure velocity factor, you can't measure length of a cable, does not have a time domain reflectometer. I would say this amounts to the AA35. So it's like a 35 where you get graphing and static modes for SWR, reactance, and resistance, and you get up to 230 megahertz as opposed to 35 megahertz. So I would say this is an entry level analyzer, but for its compactness, you can't beat it. And then of course with the software, you get much more accurate readings through the Bluetooth. So I'll tell you what, I'll walk around and I'll let you hold it in your hand and you can poke the screen. I'll tell you this, the red box in the bottom left corner here is the stop, and the go is over here. And if you hit stop, it brings you back to the main menu. If you hold the stop, it turns it off. All right, so just hit the square one time. It'll bring you back to the menu where you can see the 4 different choices you have, and you can just poke each of the buttons. And I'll let, you might have to use your phone. That's the software. You see, you can drag the cursor.
So it's internal power. Okay. The resolution on the earth actually was going to crash. Just the size.
Yeah, there's some. Katie was there, and it's okay. Underneath the art, as you can see how he's doing really, really well, and he custom handcraft. So you're moving that tension. So I need to get themselves on camera. So that really worked out. To throw it up. You know, you say I know. And they never. So take a break. Yeah, take a break. Okay. Yeah, as a matter of okay. So, uh, so now you can click next, and it'll just.
Yeah, yeah. They are. When I was here for Bill Day, actually, he took one, he showed me like, he gave me a tour. Yeah, yeah. It was $249. Want to feel it? Yeah. Really? Yeah. Yeah. Sacramento surplus stores have. Which I know a lot of money.
But Blaine's group, they had case.
Really?
Yeah. And I had one, and I don't know what I did.
Nice little graph. So yeah, there you go. Oh really? Oh, so the little USB plug popped off somewhere. So somewhere. Yeah. Um, did you find the little? So that little. Did you find it? That little black cap that I was telling you, not the cap, but the little USB cover. Yeah. So somewhere along the route, it fell on the ground. What's that next to you on your left? Right.
Here it is.
Did you find it? Probably, yeah. Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, that's a. So there's another issue that I have with this. Now, if you had the lanyard on, clearly the lanyard would slip through here too. So if it fell off, it wouldn't get lost. It would just end up. It would just end up on the lanyard. So, yeah, you know, it's a nice design for soda, like I said. But if you don't know what soda is, that's Summits on the Air. So it's for people who climb mountains and take goats and pack radios in their on their goats and go up the mountainside.
So how much trouble would you be in with your wife if you brought a goat home so you could show?
I think she'd like a goat. She'd start making. She'd start making goat milk ice cream. That wouldn't be non-dairy, but you know, it would be something. She might even. I'd make goat cheese because I like goat cheese. So yeah. Anyhow, I think that my overall opinion on that analyzer is, if you're not doing soda, I would never want it for my home analyzer. But on the other hand, if I had an iPad, or I had a Mac Pro, and I was just never touching the analyzer and just using my computer, then that would be good enough. You know, you are missing the coax tools on it that you get on the other analyzers, but I could live without the tools if I just needed to make measurements. I wouldn't actually. Because of course I take calls every day from people for tech support, and I can tell you that the coax tools are used about 60% of the time. It's actually pretty popular, the coax tools. I mean, you'll use the dB loss once a year just to make sure that you're not getting loss in your coax. You'll use the impedance check just to make sure one time that you don't have cheap coax, that's 72 ohms. So you'll use that once. You'll use the dB loss every year. You'll probably use the length one time, maybe. You'll use the time domain reflectometer maybe once every 3 years, maybe never. Depends. I mean, if you have a problem and if you're having a problem and you're looking for a problem. Yeah. Well, listen, I have broadcast stations that call me. I have radio stations. Yeah. I would say 5 to 10. Yeah, 5 to 10 people might use it. I have one guy, man, he does so much on it. He's killing me with all the calls that he puts in because, he's measuring cores of balance and, all kinds of he's doing everything that the analyzer will do. And I field trouble calls on that all the time, which is fine. I have another guy who also does balance, and, he gets really in depth with his information. So he's always fielding questions about that. But you're right. It's probably the coax tools. You could live without them if you didn't want them. This has a time domain reflectometer on it. So if you had an iPad or a MacBook or, something like that, I think it'll work on a Surface device too. It would be fine. You would never have to, like Bob, yours, when we did your antenna, we never touched the analyzer. We did everything on the computer. So it's the same thing. So, yeah, I would say that this is like for somebody who never wants to touch it and just have it and use with their computer Bluetooth connected, this is a 10. For somebody who wants an analyzer they can hold in their hand, this is a 2. Features-wise, it's a 5. So, well, like I said, if you want the coax tools, then you don't have everything you need. That's why I put it at a 5 for features, because you're missing all the other features. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, anybody who's held an MFJ, what is it, a 459 or something? That analyzer is this wide, this tall, and it takes 8 batteries. It's in a metal box, and it weighs like, the batteries last 2 hours, and it weighs something like 6 pounds. And the accuracy, it's not a vector analyzer, so it's never accurate anyway. So, in any case, that's the analyzer. I thought you'd be interested to see it. That's the key. If you ask me, I won't remember to send it to you, Neil, so email me and ask me, and I'll send you the link for the base if you want to get the base. It'll take me 1 day. I'll be honest with you. There's not a lot you can do with these because in order to fix this key, you actually have to drive the pin out. It's got a what do you call it? Like a tapered pin, and you have to knock the tapered pin out to even get this handle off to work on the innards. And it's a Well, I felt that too. I'll look into it and see what I can do. There's always that chance that you get. But I'll see what I can do to. No, I'll get it so it's working nicely. I looked at them the other day, but I haven't actually gotten a chance to. I've got too many things and too many irons in the fire right now. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, why don't you explain what it is to.
So you've got modulated CW through your 2 meter repeater or simple. And that whole thing's 10 bucks. Parts, the board. I don't know if Art's been a big promoter.
Yeah.
So one is
You plug the one jack, the other one goes to the radio.
so you there's no audio.
Yeah, there's a little thing. Oh, really? But anyway,
Yeah, the idea is really great. You use your HT and you can talk over a repeater in CW, or you could talk simplex.
I time myself putting one of those together. It took exactly 11 minutes.
No, it's all pretty straightforward. So, um, we were going to use those at the in person, or rather not in person, but we were going to use that at the training, the CW class. And what we were going to do is at the last 2 or 3 classes, we were going to split people into 2 different rooms, and then they would just transmit over the HTs from one room to the other and have QSOs. So as you know, we did those QSO practices where I was sending and you guys were answering me. Instead of the way we used to do it is we would just set people at a table, your partner at your table, you would just have a QSO with them, and then I would switch people up to get everybody a chance to have somebody else to talk to. You could, yeah. I'm sure you could probably put it in an Arduino box or something,
One of those things that
or a Raspberry Pi box.
as you're training, you need that simple little interface. And when you're done with it, you'll never touch it again. You're all
Yeah, it's kind of like I tell people with the oscillator. If you're gonna use that code oscillator I've got, I tell people don't waste your time. That goes back to Phil.
the other guy.
Oh, sorry.
Tell you about this is I got to looking at this in 1997. USP had an article on doing this 2 meter FM CW. 1997, and they had a board that they claimed you could build for 50. You use the little 555 timer. It's exactly the same concept. So this idea's been around a long time.
Yeah, it's a great idea. Right. Well, what I do is I just hook my radio into the computer through the USB. I used to do it with the audio jack, but I have USB now. And then I just go on the what's it called over the computer? You have repeaters. You can get to everywhere in the world. Something, I don't think that's it, but Echolink. That's what it is. Echolink. Yeah, I would just go on Echolink, and then I would just use my key through my radio audio, just go into test mode, and then transmit over the Echolink. And that worked great. And you could talk to somebody in any country, you know. So it was good for. It was the first. It was the first. How, so what is it? I.
So, you know, what it'll do is it'll send out a series of call signs.
Right.
And then you repeat the call sign. The idea is to train your memory.
Oh, you know what? Give me 1 second. I don't want to go on forever, but give me 1 second. I'll show you something that's even better. Give me 1 second. It won't take me but a minute. I'm just gonna grab it real quick. This is the same concept. This is the same concept as what you're describing, but instead of an Arduino, it's just a little tiny handheld.
Oh, right.
It might. I imagine it would. It's an Arduino.
Yeah.
Oh, for those people online, I'll show you what we were just talking about. This is the CW Trinket. And you can kind of hear it in the background sending CQ. And basically, it's a keychain toy. It's $15, and it lets you have CQ or contacts for training your Morse code. For $15, can't beat it. And that's rigexpertusa.com. Expert USA. All right, guys, so we're past our 9 o'clock cutoff. I don't want to keep anybody later than they want to. And I appreciate you all coming, really. We'll do it again next month. So I saw 3 hands go up. Yeah, trash cans right there. If you want to throw it in middle one, that's fine. That's recycle. So I saw 3 hands go up for the QSO contest, QSO party.
Yeah, I won't be there all day, but I'll definitely come a few hours.
All right, let me see.
Whenever I can get away from
Yeah, let me see what we're gonna do. I don't know yet if we. I have to check to make sure the bathroom's open
Sure,
first.
yeah.
Because if we're gonna do 8-10 hours, you know, it would be nice to have a bathroom.
It would be nice.
So, all right, guys, I'm gonna say goodbye to the online people, and we'll see you next month.